If you're researching solar, you've probably noticed that most explanations jump straight into brand names, specs, or sales claims. In this video, we're going to step back and do something simpler. We're going to walk through the main components of a home solar system, explain what each one does, why it exists, and what actually matters for homeowners. This is not an installation tutorial. This is not brand advice. The goal is to help you understand how the pieces fit together so you can make better decisions, ask better questions, and spot red flags before signing anything. Section 1. The big picture. Before we talk about individual components, it helps to understand the big picture. A home solar system has one main job: move electricity from the sun into your house safely and reliably. That electricity passes through several pieces of equipment along the way. Each component solves a specific problem. When you understand what problem each part is solving, solar becomes much easier to evaluate. Section 2. Solar panels. Let's start with the most visible component: solar panels. Solar panels convert sunlight into electricity. That's all they do. They do not store energy. They do not decide where power goes. They simply produce electricity when the sun hits them. For homeowners, the most important things to understand about panels are: panels are very reliable. Modern panels are designed to last decades. Failures are rare compared to other components. Panel brand matters less than people think. Most reputable panels perform similarly. Differences in efficiency usually affect how many panels you need, not whether solar works. Panels don't work alone. Panels are just the starting point. Everything else in the system determines how useful the power actually is. If solar were a car, panels would be the engine, not the transmission, not the brakes, not the steering. Section 3. Inverters. Why DC and AC matter. To understand why inverters are so important, we need to talk about two types of electricity: direct current, or DC, and alternating current, or AC. Solar panels produce direct current electricity, or DC. DC electricity flows in one direction. It's very good for producing power at a source, like a solar panel or a battery. However, homes do not run on DC power. Homes use alternating current, or AC. AC electricity changes direction many times per second. This type of power is what the electrical grid supplies and what household appliances are designed to use. So right away, there's a problem to solve. Solar panels make DC power. Your home needs AC power. Right away, it's clear there is a piece of the puzzle missing. How can we turn DC into AC for recreational use? That's where the inverter comes in. The inverter's primary job is to convert DC electricity from the solar panels into AC electricity your home can use. If the inverter is not working, your solar system is not producing usable power, even if the panels are in perfect sunlight. This is why the inverter is often considered the most critical component in the system. Inverters almost always convert DC electricity into AC electricity for household use. Once the power is converted to AC, it can run appliances in your home, flow to your main electrical panel, be shared with the grid if allowed. From that point on, solar electricity behaves just like utility power. For homeowners, this matters because inverter choice affects how reliable the system is, how performance is monitored, how shading impacts production, whether batteries can be added later. Panels create the energy. The inverter makes it usable. Section 4. Mounting and racking. Mounting hardware is not exciting, but it matters. There are two places where solar panels are placed most for recreational use: either on a client's roof as a roof-mounted system or on the ground as a ground-mounted system. Each has its pros and cons. Roof-mounted systems allow for good management of space. Good mounting systems are designed to protect the roof, handle wind and weather, allow panels to expand and contract. Roof mounts come with some inherent flaws. Maintenance for your panels can be a difficult task, barring faulty equipment ever being an issue. An obstruction to the panels that causes less exposure to the sun will cause a loss in kilowatt hours. For a system on a roof, especially one more than a story off the ground, becomes more than a chore to manage. Roof mounts, while more respective of space, if done incorrectly, can be costly to repair. As roof mounts are placed on the roof of a house, a deft hand and rigorous procedure is needed from the installer in order to maintain the structural integrity of one's roof. Ground-mounted systems are solar arrays mounted to structures on the ground, usually wood or metal, and require underground trenching with PVC piping to keep the wires safe from the elements. Beneficial qualities of ground-mounted systems are that there is no stress over faulty craftsmanship causing roofing to be damaged, and maintenance of panels is much easier as you can clearly see your panels and identify any issues. The cons being the space needed for a ground mount system. This is an issue due to two factors. There needs to be a preferably level lay of the land, as an incline too steep can make installing the mount difficult. There needs to be little to no shadows cast into the region you wish to have the panels, as shade is the number one enemy of solar energy production. Section 5. Electrical safety components. A solar system includes several safety-related components that homeowners rarely hear about. These include disconnects, rapid shutdown equipment, overcurrent protection, grounding systems. Their job is not performance, their job is safety. These components protect your home, firefighters, utility workers, the system itself. If you ever hear someone dismiss safety equipment as unnecessary or optional, that's a red flag. Good solar systems are designed to fail safely. Section 6. The main electrical panel. Solar doesn't bypass your house's electrical system. It connects into your main electrical panel or a sub-panel. This is why panel condition matters. Older panels, limited capacity, or code issues can affect system size, cost, timeline. This is also why some solar projects include panel upgrades. It's not upselling. It's often a limitation of existing infrastructure. Section 7. The grid and net metering. Most home solar systems remain connected to the electric grid. The grid acts like a backup power source and, in many cases, a place to send excess solar energy. Net metering policies vary by location, but the basic idea is the same. You use solar power first. Extra power may go to the grid. You draw from the grid when solar isn't enough. Understanding this relationship is key to understanding solar savings. Section 8. Batteries. Batteries store electricity so it can be used later. In a home solar system, batteries are most often used for backup power during outages, limited use of solar energy at night, reducing reliance on the grid during peak hours. Batteries do not make solar produce more energy. They change when that energy can be used. Here is a good example. Imagine you were given a bottle of water and told to water a garden with it. It wouldn't take long to see how impossible it would be to meet that garden's needs with that minuscule amount of water. There simply needs to be a better method of storing the water. A pool, for instance. With that much water, how many gardens could you suddenly irrigate? This concept is how we understand battery banks, with the water being the power at your disposal and the pool being the batteries you can cache that power into. This can be especially useful during the night when solar cannot be harnessed, or during an outage. Like solar panels, batteries store electricity as direct current or DC power. That means batteries always work together with an inverter. The inverter manages charging the battery and converting stored DC power into AC power when your home needs it. Batteries add resilience and flexibility, but also cost and complexity. Not every home benefits equally from batteries, and different battery types come with different trade-offs in size, lifespan, and cost. Closing, how to think about components. When evaluating solar, don't focus on one component in isolation. A good solar system is balanced. Panels produce, inverters manage, safety systems protect, the grid supports, batteries add resilience. Understanding what each component does puts you in control of the conversation. In future videos, we'll dive deeper into individual components, common mistakes, and how to evaluate solar proposals without getting overwhelmed. If that sounds useful, subscribe and continue learning before making a decision.